Hi, this is Dave Parker with ICCG, and instead of Grant this week, I've got Tina Schaaf. Tina and I have known each other for many, many years, and Tina works with our OneAccord partners in Seattle. So we're sitting in the OneAccord office in Seattle today. Actually, a beautiful day out there today, right?
Yes.
Very far
80-degree day, which is
and what are we doing here? I have no idea. But we're bringing some important information to you. Tina has a really unique thing about what she does for the business world, and although it doesn't directly interface every day with the MAA advisory part of OneAccord, it serves all of OneAccord in many different ways, and that she does executive search and placement, but in a kind of a different way. And so that'd be really interesting if we did maybe 2 or 3 videos with you, Tina, to kind of let you know how does this, not only what you do, but how can this serve those people? Our audience is mainly family-owned business owners that are maybe looking at exiting someday, and how do they make sure their business is ready to go? And it has a lot to do with who's running the show. And so, first of all, what do you do? I've known you for so long. Just tell me what you do, and I really want to understand. I'm really curious myself.
Okay.
In its full, and then we'll talk about how you do that.
Excellent. So as you mentioned, I've been a part of executive search for the better half of 2.5 decades of my career.
That's a while.
And, some people also call it headhunting, and it's at mostly the executive level. I have done many things, all the way down to an executive admin, but you will find me mostly sitting at the C-suite.
Okay.
And how that has transpired.
Define C-suite, because some of our business owners may not know all the different lingo. We try to stop and go, here's what the acronyms mean.
So we're talking about CEOs, CFOs, COOs, CTOs, and so that's Chief Executive Officer, Chief Operations Officer, Chief Financial Officer, Chief Technology Officer, and so on and so forth. Right. So it is the key leadership of any given business. Now, every business can call that something different. I mean, another business could even be the same size, might call it a VP, they might call it a director, they might call it a general manager.
It's the head honchos.
It's the head honchos.
It's the guys calling the shots.
It is. The key strategic decision makers, I think, is another way to think about it. So I have been doing that for, like I said, over 2.5 decades. And what I found early on that makes the way in which I do it different is that it was necessary to get in and really understand the business and the business owners. And so it's interesting that you should mention, the smaller family-owned businesses, because that's largely who I serve. I found an affinity early on to working directly with the people who were the decision makers, the ones that mattered the most, that the business mattered the most to them. And to then align with them. And
may I just say, who often have the hardest time letting go. So for them to bring in somebody is even more difficult, right?
Truly. So I found that it was really important to get in and to learn the entirety of the business. So in my profession, you will find that there are individuals that will simply take a job description. They will, maybe have maybe an hour-long conversation with whoever the decision maker is, and then they're off and running. And they're going to go and they're going to find you that person. And
along with their other 20 clients that they're trying to find.
Exactly.
You're in competition with each other almost.
Exactly. And so what I found is that, really partnering with the business owner, the executives that are, in charge, if you will, was most important. And then also taking it one step further and really, speaking to the key individuals in the company to get that holistic view of the company and understanding all pieces and parts. Because interestingly enough, when you sit at the top, there's a lot of things you might not see.
So are you going in and talking to the different leaders you're going beyond just the owner, and you're going and you're finding out the real deal?
I am. I truly
am. We've
am.
talked about, sometimes the longer you've been in something, the less you actually know about your company.
Truly. Okay. And interestingly enough, I've been fortunate that I've been able to get people to speak very transparently with me and tell me exactly what I need to know about the business.
How are the owners with allowing you access to their leadership like that? Is that a little bit pulling teeth, or is it?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes, because of the fact that they're used to the other way.
Right.
And, why can't you just, take this, information that I'm giving you or this job description, just go.
Just find me a manager.
Yeah, just go make it happen. Just wave your magic wand.
Right.
So when I explain to them and share the success that I've had and give them examples of other people who've been in their shoes and had success and my success factors, it seems like immediately they start hearing things that are different than what they've heard before. And it seems like that based on that, they start building confidence. That, okay, so what she's saying is very different. However, the success factor that she's sharing with me rather confidently, that's something I want.
Yeah.
I want to have a 98.7% success,
So you talking about going in, now you're going in and you've kind of defined what the need is through listening to everybody. And how wide of net do you cast? I don't want you to tell us all your secrets, but kind of real simply, how does that work from there? And then,
so I really do want to talk to people who both are in a key position in the company as well as those who have tenure. So if you have somebody who's been in the company for 10 plus years, but they happen to be somebody who's on the front lines, out in the field, somebody who isn't a decision maker necessarily for the company, that's still valuable input.
Yeah.
And so I ask for those people. And the other thing that I do that I know that wouldn't be expected is I ask for full financials. I ask for, the org chart. I ask for everything about the company.
You want to know. You want to know the heartbeat of the company.
I need to know. And the reason I need to know that and why that ends up being successful in some of these mechanisms that I choose to do is that I am going to go on the front lines for the benefit of this company. And when I get asked those key questions, it's not going to build confidence if I have to say, let me get back to you on that.
Right.
I'm not quite sure. When I can say, here's what you need to know. Here are all the details. Here's the history. Here's where they've come from. Here's where they are today. And here's where they're going. And I can say that with confidence. The most common response I get from candidates is, are you sure you don't work for the company? Because I know so much.
Right.
But it also makes them, build confidence in them so that when they come to the point where they are ready to interview, they know the company really well.
Yeah.
I've had them go through some research. There's other parts to my process on the candidate side that everybody's coming to the table with a high degree of interest and confidence that they're there for all the right reasons.
And you're pre-interviewing everyone before they ever touch. Okay, that's
everybody.
Important.
So.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to stop there for this particular video because I said 2 or 3, it's at least 3, this is fascinating to me. And so I'm going to bait our audience a little bit. I already know the story that's coming up, and it's a pretty good story. I happen to know a little bit about this company as well. And we're going to give you some examples next week about how this is actually used and how this is played out for companies who are getting ready to sell. So we're going to come back next week and do this at least one more and probably 2 more times. Okay. And thank you for being with us today, Tina.
Thank you.
Fascinating.
Look forward to it.
See you next time.